it's Liz from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. I have a slightly different project today. I'm doing a kind of small series on how I interact with my team and that sort of stuff. So you will have seen the joining pack that I put together that I send out to my team. That was yesterday's video. Today I am going to go through one of my incentives for my team, and it's around meeting your first minimums. So when one of my team members hits their first minimum, however long that takes, they get a little gift of all sorts of Stampin' Up products from me. Now, the lady that will have got this at the weekend, obviously I'm not going to have let the cat out of the bag in advance, so she will have got this last weekend. She loves anything mermaid. Mermaids and unicorns are her thing. So when the Myths and Magic Designer Series paper came out and the matching stamp sets, I knew that she was going to be thrilled. And indeed she is. So I am using the mermaid paper from the Myths and Magic Designer Series paper and matching Berry Burst cardstock to box up her gift. So we'll make the box and then I'll show you what the gift is. So I haven't actually, no, I'll show you the gift because then you need to know why the box is a slightly strange size. So I am gifting her a fast fuse, which I've just folded the top down, a pack of the Brights enamel shapes and some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. It's just a token. Now I have measured this and I need a box that is 6 inches by 5 inches by 2 inches. So that's what this all measures. So let's get going. I'll grab the scoreboard. So here we go. Let's make sure you can see the top, which you can. I will do the base first, but I will go through the measurements for both base and top before we start. So because I need a box that's 6 by 5 by 2, I need for the base has to have sides that are 2 inches tall. So in order to do that, I need my 5 inch, so this is obviously not quite square, so I've got one piece that is 5 inches plus 2 inches plus 2 inches, so 9, and then 6 inches plus 2 inches plus 2 inches, which is 10. But in order to make sure that the lid, and the lid I've cut at the same size, but in order to make sure that the lid fits over the base, what I've then done, because I know I've got a little margin of error, is take a 1/16 of an inch off each of the axes. So I've taken a 1/16 of an inch off the 9, so it's actually 8 and 15/16 across, and then 10 and 15/16 across as well. So I know that I've got that little margin for error. So because of that, what I can't do is go, okay, so this is where I need it to be 6 inches wide between the two sides, and go 2 and 8, because they won't be even. So I always, and even if I'm not doing the trim first, I always do my scoring together. So I say together. So I will flip my card to make sure that the 2 inches is exactly 2 inches, rather than assuming that I've cut the card absolutely ping on. So I spin. If for the top I could, if I was feeling brave, go 2 and 7, but I won't. I will actually spin. If I'm doing a box that is all constructed in one piece, then I might, but if I'm doing a top and a bottom, I don't. So again, I'm going to do 2 and all the way around, but for this I'm actually going to flip the base of the box, sorry, the side of the box in. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 7/8 and 2 inches, because that will then give me a little piece to flip in, and it gives the box a little bit more structure. I don't want the lid to go all the way to the base. I'm quite happy with the overhang to be just about 1 inch. So I'm happy that if I do 7/8 and 2 inches, that I will be able to do that. So 7/8 and 2 inches all the way round. Now this is designer series paper, but it's kind of a lightweight card. If you can hear, it's not really paper. So I'm being quite firm with my scoring. I'm not going mad, but I am being quite firm. So I'll pop that to one side for the moment and flip this over and bring in my bone folder and burnish all my score marks. And I always fold towards what I call the mountain, because this is the lump and the dent is this side. So I am folding towards the mountain. Ladies who come to my class are very used to me saying that. And then, because of the way I'm constructing the box, you could trim and fold the sides in on one end, but because of the way I'm constructing the box, I'm actually going to have them going round. So I'm going to trim up and just wedge in on each corner, but I'm again going to turn my card while I'm doing that. So I could do here, but I'm going to do here. So the flaps will just be on each of the corners rather than just on one side, and that way you get a snugger fit on your, or a better fit on your lid as well, because you haven't got everything all lumped together. So when I come to do my lid, that's obviously more important than the base, but it's still quite nice to do it on the base as well. So if you watched yesterday's video about the pack that I send out to my new team members, you will have heard me say that January is a brilliant time to join, because for whenever you join, whether it's during celebration or not, Stampin Up require you to have minimum sales, and they do them by the quarter, which is brilliant. So it does mean that if you can save up everything you need over a 3-month period. But the first quarter that you join, you don't have to worry about. You get that, in inverted commas, for free. Obviously, joining at the beginning of a quarter means you get the whole of that quarter and the whole of the next quarter. So you get 6 months instead of just 1 to hit your first minimums. So January is a good time to do it. Right, okay, so fast fuse, and I'm going to pop fast fuse on all of the edges of my flap, or flaps I should say, and just spin as I go round, and just remember that you just do a little flick and go in opposite directions. Just be a little careful, particularly when I get to the designer series paper. I'll be a little more careful when I do the flick about holding the flap in place, because otherwise you can rip the paper. Right, and then just line up the edge so it's square and go all the way around doing that. And again, and the last one, which is always a little more interesting because you've got to get it on the inside. And there we are. And because I turned my paper, all of the edges meet up beautifully. So let's pop everything in. So I always use yellow tissue paper, and I accept that yellow and berry burst do not really go together, but yellow is my statement colour, it's what I use. So let's pop everything in. So this is ready to go. So that's all ready to go. So we just now need the lid. So I'll pop that to one side and bring in our designer series paper, which you know is already scored. And again, I'm just going to burnish all of my score lines. I have to say, one of the absolute delights about having a team, and we're suddenly growing, it's brilliant, is that I can say thank you for their support. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see that. Reasonably well, actually. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same cuts as I did for the base. So I'm going to cut up to the second score line, and then just wedge that out. And again, wedge out here. But what I'm going to add in is cutting up that score line and wedging out here, because that's then going to tuck in underneath everything. It's all quite clever when it works. So keep going round. Wedge out. Wedge off. Ooh. You do need to make sure that that is wedged out properly. I'm sorry, it's probably not terribly easy paper for you to see. I'll turn it over in a minute and see whether it's better on the other side. Possibly less. Oh no, it's not, because I can't then see properly. Yes, it's possibly not the best pattern I could have chosen, but she likes mermaids, so it's got to be done. Where are we? 12 minutes. Wow. Need to get a wiggle on, really, don't I? 12 minutes is too long. And the last one. As you can see, it doesn't actually matter which order you do all this. So you can just go clockwise if you want. Right, so what we're going to be doing is building our box in the normal way, but then this is going to tuck in. So what we now need to do, which of course I should have remembered and not forgotten, is wedge in these, as these actually get just tucked in. It's sad, really, isn't it? So forget some of what I've already told you, because those will then cover up some of what we're doing. That's better. Oops, move everything. So there we are. That's basically what we're looking at. So these will then go in and these will then tuck over. So let's turn over and fast fuse. Helps if your fast fuse is actually at the end of the roll. You actually need to put it down the side there. So at the end, absolutely, and then just down the middle, and that's just so that, whoops, let's not stick it to the board. It's just so that it's got something to stick to the side with. But this bit's going to be covered up. So, again, we're lining up, and make sure you don't go too far across, because we want our... What we don't want to do is come all the way over, so that we've got a... Let's see if I can keep that out of the way. I don't want that. I mean, that's exaggerated Don't know if you can see it. What I don't want is anything coming over this edge. So I need to have it so that it's slightly this way, so that we don't ruin the fact that we've allowed the extra piece. Right, so that's beautiful, and then we'll just tuck these bits in, but we'll pop some fast fuse on first. So I'm afraid you're not going to really be able to see this, but just trust me, I'm putting fast fuse along the edges. But for the sake of speed, I'm not going to worry too much about camera angles, because frankly, this video is getting too long for man or beast, man or unicorn, or mermaid. Oh, come on, fast fuse. It's because I'm rushing. Right, so then all I do is tuck those in, and I like to do opposites first. I don't know why, I just do. And there we go. So that's our lid, and then if we bring in our base, that will fit very nicely. If you look at that, that's really nice. If I show you from underneath, that is beautifully, beautifully snug, and that is because we allowed that extra 1/16 of an inch on the lid by taking it off the base. Right, now, where are we? 16, nearly 17 minutes. Ooh. So I'm just going to wrap it up. I was going to do a tag. Well, I will be doing a tag, but I'll maybe do that as a different video. So this is Berry Burst ribbon. It's the finely woven ribbon in Berry Burst. So, as Berry Burst is one of the colours, we can use the Berry Burst. And back underneath. And over the top. And just make sure we've got about the right length. And tie that in a bow, which we all know, bows on camera are always interesting. But let's give it a go. This is lovely ribbon to tie, by the way. It's got a bit of, it's not too slippy, so it does tie nicely, particularly when you're on camera. Some of the satin ribbons can be a little trickier on camera. And then just trim the ends. And let's just show you how beautifully that coordinates. That's what Stampin' Up is all about, really, isn't it? Coordination. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that. I will show you the tag that I am going to make in another video, but there will be a tag to go with it. So come back tomorrow maybe and you'll see the tag to go with this parcel. So thanks a lot for watching. Do remember that if you want to join my team, now is the perfect time to do it. £99 with free postage and packing will get you £130 of products of your choice, plus during celebration an extra 2 stamp sets which you do not have to pay for, and those will come out of either the lovely new spring summer catalogue or our amazing annual catalogue, which is this great big fat catalogue which I think gets a bit ignored, particularly by the time we get to spring summer. But do remember there's lots of lovely stuff still in here. If you choose the 2 most expensive stamp sets in the catalogues, you will get £90 of extra product. So that makes over £200 worth of product for just £99, including postage and packing. And even if that's the only thing you ever do as a demonstrator, that's fine too. If you don't meet your quarterly minimums at the end of June, then you just stop being a demonstrator and start being a customer again. So it really is a win-win. But whilst you're a demonstrator, you get to order things with a discount. and you get 20% off, which is brilliant. So yeah, if you don't have your Spring Summer catalogue and your Celebration catalogue, do please fill in the form at the bottom of my blog, which there's a link to the associated post for this at the bottom of this YouTube video. So if you click the description bar, you will find it there. All my links to social media are also in there. If you want to drop me an email or give me a call, all my contact details are on my website, and I'd be very happy to talk to you about whether becoming a member of my team is the right thing for you at the moment. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye!